Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the What the Football channel. This is the BH and Scrubber Show. And on today's show, we're going to be covering the Commanders' loss to the Green Bay Packers this past Thursday. Looked pretty rough. I've gotten most of that out of my system. So my overreaction has been done. And I'm going to try and be a little bit more um, easy critical on them, but we are going to be critical. I believe they did do a couple good things, but for the most part, not so great. What do you think, BH?
Yeah, definitely disappointing. Reminded me kind of the Ravens game last year. We're a good looking team. I mean, I know this was the second game of the season, but we're looking fairly good last year. And on paper, we were on the road to the Ravens. They're a good team. They've been around. Their players have been there. Their coaching system, we were definitely underdogs. And then we
Yep.
went there and we lost. And
Yep.
offense couldn't get going. Defense, not great. Special teams made mistakes. So kind of a mirror image of this game. We're kind of every aspect of the team, coverages were bad,
Yep.
blocking, the quarterback decisions, weren't great. Jaden's accuracy was
Yep.
off. I mean, I know he was almost up to 59%, but there's just, made some good throws, but then a lot of intermediate and short throws were even off, and I think him and the O line were spooked.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just coming. You could see the O line look. They were seeing ghosts, and then Jaden was starting to see ghosts. And I think when you're playing a team like that, it's just not that they're better. It's just they've been building it longer too. The
Hmm.
systems are there, the players are there. Their bad draft picks are gone, and they've built their team. They got a bunch of great first rounders. Um, and so I think, we just kind of a short week was bad for this team. Short weeks are good for stud teams that know what they're doing and have a great system and have been doing it consistently for a while. For a
Yeah.
team like us, especially when you got younger guys at right tackle, quarterback, in the secondary, these guys need more film, going over the scheme, more reps. They need just what like I said, more film. It would have helped a lot of those guys, help Jaden to kind of watch on film what they're doing, help our DBs a little bit more, like how they move guys around. They did a couple things where they ran guys in motion, and I guess it was man coverage,
Right.
and the man went with them, and he was late.
Yeah.
Instead of, it's like a lot of times you stay in zone and they go send a guy in motion, and you just know the guy on the other end go, hey, that's your guy now.
Right.
He's going over there. But you saw that, right, a couple of times where, the guy just ran, and he was just ran free. It was like the easiest
Yeah.
5 to 10 yard play you'll ever see. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was, and I know, I think it was rough. I think Jaden could have used more. Some of those young DBs. I think Josh Connerly definitely he struggled.
He
He
did. He
he
needed help.
he needed help, and once again, a full week of preparation would have helped all of them. But it's the NFL. Too bad they make the schedule. You got to show up and play.
Yeah. Well, part of that too, though, is, you heard the coaches say, oh, well, and we talked about it too, that, they had the time. It's the beginning of the season. They had a lot of time to look at what they're doing, even though it was a short week and we had to travel. But it didn't seem like the coaches had it under control. So it looked like Packers were able to pick apart. They picked on Marshawn Lattimore like the first three plays. Just totally got in his head that
Yeah,
they were doing that I think it would I forget his name, but in motion to the one side had Lattimore trying to follow him, then motion to the other side and had him follow him again, and Lattimore was just getting pissed. And
yeah,
Lattimore, played a pretty crappy game too. And part of my, I had issues with us getting him early on and his abilities, and he had a couple penalties because he's getting mad. And the rest of the DBs didn't do all that great either. Their PFF scores were very, very low, low 30s, maybe high 20s.
yeah,
So they weren't doing too good there. Another thing on the defense, we talk about that squeeze. The line needs to get in while the DBs cover. They weren't doing that, and I think the Packers were just super prepared for us. they knew what we were going to do and how we were going to react, and they just picked us apart. That Tucker Kraft guy, oh my God. I think that one play he was open. I think when I called the game, I said he was open by 10 yards. No one was even close.
Yeah. And
And
even their backup tight end kicked our
yeah,
ass. Yeah,
yeah,
Kraft had yeah. And I'm telling you, man, the tight end for the Raiders is Brock Bowers.
yeah,
Man, he's already licking his chops.
yep,
We think we had a problem with Tucker Kraft.
yep.
We'll talk about that next week. But yeah, we had no luck against tight ends. That was pretty weird.
Nope.
Yeah,
And
and
then
no,
the other
and
thing, just to capitalize on what you just said against the Raiders, they've got their defensive end. What's his name? The redhead guy.
oh yeah,
He's going to be
exactly.
up. He's going to be up against Connerly too. And Connerly, he can't win that. I was thinking put Wiley back to that other side.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah.
just
It
switch it
just
back
might.
out.
Yeah, it just might have to. I mean, I remember last year was kind of goofy, but didn't they? Who was it? Didn't they play? Didn't they mix Brandon Coleman
Yes.
back 50-50 at
Yeah.
left tackle?
Yeah.
So maybe go to that strategy, because at first I thought that was dumb, but it actually paid off.
Yeah.
Brandon Coleman, so maybe you go 50-50 with Josh Connolly. So he's just not in there getting motorboated on every play, and maybe give him a chance to get it together. Because you just don't want to bench him. You want the guy.
Right.
He's a young guy. I mean, I think he just turned 22. He might still be 21. I
Right.
mean, he's a young guy. I mean, he still hasn't, his brain hasn't gotten fully functioned. He hasn't even grown into his body yet. But
Yeah.
yeah, he looked like a turnstile.
Yeah.
So we can't have that shit going on. Yeah, Max Crosby.
Max Crosby, thank you. And that goes back to the coaching I was talking about, with not being set up and ready to go. The other
Yep.
thing is not giving Connerly help. The other issue I have too was with, the running back situation. I let it go because I figure, and we talk about this, the coaches know what they're doing. Get rid of B-Rob. This is going to happen. This is going to be the way it is. But really, in your mind, you're looking at it going, what the fuck? That can't be the way they're going at it. It can't be Eckler as your number one guy. You know what I'm saying? He's a
Yeah.
third down guy, and he's older, and he's not, the injury is inevitable. You know what I mean? And now what?
Yeah, I agree. And Eckler, I mean, at his peak was great going in between the tackles.
Hmm.
But not it, it was just in an offense that is balanced, it can work for him. But like that first, second down, pile drive, send Eckler up the middle kind of stuff,
Yeah.
not going to work, man. And
Nope.
they didn't respect our running game at all, dude. I
Nope.
mean, they just killed it. And then all of a sudden, uh, Bill disappeared. Dollar Bill, they didn't give him anything.
And
Uh,
why not?
why not just run him up the middle why not hit him up the middle and soften those guys up?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
young.
Yeah. And what if we had, and another one, what if we had Chris Rodriguez suited up? I'd have brought him in and ran him up the gut. I mean,
Yeah.
make those guys take some hits, make them tackle. They didn't have to, and no wonder they were so fresh teeing off later on in the game. They never have to tackle anybody.
Yep.
They were just coming on after. So yeah, that was pretty. And also being prepared. Jordan Love kind of said he didn't make a big deal out of it, but he said, "Well, no, I went with what they gave me. When I
Yes.
saw zone, I went with
Hmm.
it. When I saw man, I went with it. And it was obvious in that man that, like say Lattimore trying to
Yep.
trail the guy. And at one time, it was Sane was still. And I read an article from Commander's website that I don't necessarily agree with their stuff. Sometimes they're always whining and crying and screaming and pulling their hair out. But I thought in this one, I'll give the guy props. He made a good point that Sainristil has played just about every position out there. They put him on the outside, they put him in, but they had him all over the place. And then he in the second half, he started to get burned. He was
Yeah.
trailing guys. He was getting lost. So maybe a young guy, maybe you don't make him, have to do all that stuff. Maybe you kind of bring that in a little. Just let him be the slot, instead of this, jack of all trades, Swiss Army
Yeah.
knife guy. I mean, he's still young. Same still. Daniels, a lot of these guys, it's only the second game of their second season, man.
Yeah. And they
And
got
you're,
Trey Amos in there too, who's a rook.
yeah,
So he's got
yeah,
to play with him. Even Quan is on his like third year. And then on
yeah,
the other side of that too, you got Lattimore who's got 1 foot in the fucking grave.
yep. He's struggling.
And then who's a Josh Johnson? Who's the other
Yeah,
guy? And
Johnson and Igbenogany, who Iggy came in and they picked on him right away.
they did.
They
Yep.
picked on Iggy, so Iggy is who he is, and that's going to
Yep.
happen. So yeah, there wasn't. So I kind of agree. Don't want to crap all over the coaches, but
Right.
I mean, when the quarterback for the other team goes, "Hey, I just went what they gave me." That's almost
Yep.
like saying I knew what they were going to do,
Yeah.
and when I
Yep.
saw it, we sent a guy in motion, and I see that the guy's running with them, and I know they're in man.
Yep.
Boom, I know what I'm going to do.
And the other thing they did too is when they saw that it was zone, they would just load up one side.
Yeah,
They
and
give you two tight ends on one side, and then they put a man in motion to that side, and then they throw the fucking running back out to the flat. Now you got 4 guys on that side, and you only got 3 people covering.
they did
And
that a
that's how,
lot.
yeah, and they did that a lot. So either way, whether we were doing man or we were doing zone, he had the answer for it, and we didn't. So
Yeah, and I don't understand that. That's a flaw. Thank God it happened in the second game because that's a flaw that's got to get corrected. Because there were
yeah,
so many times when they stacked the one side and the numbers didn't add up.
yeah,
It just didn't.
yeah,
I mean, so yeah, yeah. I guess losing Dietrich Wise is rough, man. I
yeah,
mean, I'm wondering if they're gonna, we got Jean Baptiste is the backup. He's actually pretty good against the run,
hmm,
so that's a good thing.
yeah,
So he's going to have to go in. I don't know if Clellan Farrell is still out there. He didn't retire. I mean, I'm not excited about that, but we might have to bring him in. He knows the scheme. He played all last year. We may have to bring in a body
yep.
to
Some
fill
people
in.
talk about Jadeveon Clowney's out there, a couple other people.
At some point, we might have to. It's
Yeah,
not what we want. So that injury is tough. The Austin Eckler injury is really tough because now, like you said, we had a philosophy, the coaches and the GM of we let B-Rob go. We like what we got.
yep.
And this injury, all of a sudden, now it's like, well, you better like what you got because,
Stuck with
yeah, go check the waiver wire, brother.
it. Yeah, there ain't
There's
no
trash
there.
out there.
Yeah,
I know. So yeah, so it's pretty bad. I feel bad for Austin Eckler because guys have got a great history, undrafted, from a small school in Colorado, Western Colorado. I don't know if anyone in the NFL ever played from Western Colorado. I mean, I mean, that's a guy who had a great, successful career that no one even cared about. You know what I mean? So he was a
yeah,
great player, but I think he's done. Achilles at 30.
yep,
I think he's done, and that's
yep.
too bad for him. But it's really too bad for us. So, hey, man, let's get Dollar Bill in there, man. Let's get Chris. What's his name?
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez in here, and let's just go. And man, let's go after the Raiders and get our running backs
Yeah,
going after them. Let's rotate them in and just run. Let's get some identity back. We'll
yeah.
talk about that more next Friday when we do our
Mhm.
show. But I mean, you got to, dude. You average 2.7 yards per carry. You got to get your running back room pumped up, man.
Yeah,
They got obliterated. So
yeah.
anyway, well, did we have any bright spots? What
I
did
thought
you
the
think?
Debo Samuel had a 50-yard return
Yeah, that was
on
cool.
the kickoff. That was really good. We only had 4 or 5 penalties, so that was good. That's not a lot. We had 12 last week and only 5 this week. So
Oh
I think
yeah,
1 or 2 of them uh, came at bad times. Another bright spot for us, we got lucky, was that Jordan Love missed a couple passes that we could have got burnt on, and then I think didn't they have a touchdown and there was a penalty or something and it had to come back.
yeah,
So we dodged the bullet there. So if you're looking for good stuff,
yeah. I mean, the ironic thing about penalties is we only had 5 for
yeah,
30 yards.
yeah,
That's nothing. If we have 5 penalties
nothing.
for 30 yards every game, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'd like
no,
to have
that's good.
one, Yeah, and then Green Bay had 10. So
Yeah. Yeah. But
uh,
how do you add all that up?
yeah, it doesn't make sense. They dominated, so not surprisingly. I wouldn't say dominated. They were 32 minutes to 27 minutes approximately in possession, which is
Yeah.
it's not screaming. One other thing I'm disappointed in was two things. Number one was that I didn't feel like that Jayden was moving the ball downfield, but I don't know if the plays were being called that way. I don't
Yes.
know. You know,
Yes.
sometimes is the play not being called that way, or is
Yes.
Jayden just was he too intimidated and too scared, and he was just kind of I'm just going to go here. In his defense, I
Yeah.
will say they were getting a pass rush with four, and then they were doing a four-backer shell with a safety and the backers, and then they had the DBs. I mean, he was going to have to layer because they were getting pressure with four.
Yeah.
So they're afforded the luxury of just dropping a guy, putting a shell 10 yards back.
Yep.
That's hard to compete with. So, but I was disappointed that the offense or that Daniels and Cliff couldn't get the ball downfield more. It just seemed like it was all crunched under 15 yards
Yep.
most of the time. So that was disappointing.
Yeah. It was. It looked like Scott Turner calling the.
Exactly.
We had a bunch of people in our chat room just what's with the play calling? What's with the play calling? So, and it did seem kind of funny at the time. It just didn't seem like it was working. Part of it
Yep.
too is that I talked about it too. Is one team comes out with heat and one team doesn't, and you can
Yep.
almost see as they come out that front thing at the very beginning of the game. You can say that team is going to win and that team is going to lose because that one looks like they want to win and that one just looks like they don't want to win.
Yep.
So,
Yep. It's true. I think somehow, not just having Josh Connolly as a rookie, which is bad enough, but you do have, we always think of the offensive line. We talk about the individual players and they're all, we're pretty happy with it. We're happy with Sam Cosmi coming back probably in week 5. But at the end of the day, they work as a unit. The DBs work as a unit. You don't think of it that way, but they do. They got to communicate, got to slide in a certain direction. You got to help a guy out. And our O-line has new guy on left tackle, rookie at right tackle. Nick Allegretti had to go to right guard. They haven't had a chance, and they kind of looked that way. It just seemed like every time it was like a jailbreak. You think they were rushing 7 people the way our guys look spooked. So, well,
it almost seemed like it should have been like, I don't know, Coleman on the right tackle, Allegretti back at left guard, or Wiley at right tackle and just slide Connerly to a guard. And I don't know. So.
Yeah, Brandon Coleman at right tackle to me didn't seem like a bad idea. He played all left tackle all last year. I mean, he wasn't great, but he did pretty good.
Yeah.
Slide him over to the right side after a year of experience. So, well, we'll see. They'll continue to do that. I think Josh Connolly will get better, but we don't have the luxury of losing games while he gets better.
And I got one more bitch, and that's Matt Gay.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Dude, every one of you watching any of these games, all these kickers are putting them through at 53, 55, 58, no problem with the new kicker ball thing that you can do. You can massage your balls all you want for a day and a half before the game. And they do. They got these machines they put them on, and they're rubbing them with oil.
The footballs.
The football.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about massaging their balls all day before the game. I go, no wonder they're missing field goals.
The new kicker balls. They got machines on them all day long. So, they can do that. And it seems like everybody in the whole NFL is kicking, 50 is the new 40.
It is, dude. It is. I mean, and they're just sailing through. And I think we have the highest paid kicker in the NFL, too.
And that's right.
Yeah.
Where's Zane Gonzalez when you need him?
And you know what? Zane better, put us on speed dial, man, I guess, because if this keeps up, and didn't he miss? He was missing stuff in preseason too.
Yeah.
Gay. He shanked a couple in preseason. So I don't think it's the holder or the snapper.
No.
They're in place. They're a team. So it's
Tyler
it's him.
Expressway. It's not their fault.
Yeah. So that's a guy that needs to make up for some mistakes. So, hey, do you you remember what Trey Amos's? How was his PFF?
It was bad. It was like
It was bad too.
29.
Jesus.
Maybe he was
Well,
one of the ones, but the only was 31 or 32. So, hovering
dude,
around
below
30.
40,
Yeah.
you should go play in the Canadian Football League.
Yep. So, no, they all played like shit. Even
All
Will
right.
Harris, even Quan.
Yep.
Uh, we won't rip on them too much. We don't need to get too, last year we lost the first game and we lost the
Yep.
second game too, right? And won the third
No, that
game.
was the second game was the field goal one against the Giants.
Oh,
So
that's
we
right.
won. Yeah. And I mean, last year we had a 4-game losing streak.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah.
shit the bed and came back, and that's the thing. It's a long season. The
Yeah.
teams that are great at the beginning
Yeah.
aren't always ones that are great at the end.
Yeah.
So much goes on. I mean, this Packer team right now looks like they go 17-0.
Yeah.
I mean, they kicked our ass and they whooped Detroit, right?
Yeah, they did. No,
Yeah,
they look really good. They
Detroit
do look good.
and Detroit just put 52 on the
Ooh,
Bears.
they did.
They did. Ugly. Anyway, well, dude, yeah, it is what it is. It was an ass whooping.
Yeah.
Hopefully our guys and our staff take it like men. They reconnoiter. I hate to take a loss, but sometimes you just need to get slapped in the face and realize, hey, this is serious, man. Let's get it together. Focus more.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
one thing I
come
don't
on.
like about it, I was thinking about this earlier, was it's this little thing, 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 it's this little thing. Ouch, how do you fix all them? Whereas if it was just this thing and this thing, those two things you can fix. But when it's
Right.
all these little things, the kicker, the blocking, the DBs, you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
It's hard. It's harder to concentrate on any one thing when it's like that. So that's the only thing that scares me about it.
I agree. Like if Jaden just went out and shit the bed, I could get
Right.
Jaden out, put Marcus in. Then you go, okay, hey, that's what it was. Maybe we still lose, but maybe things are
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
But and it reminded me of last week's penalty fest
Yeah.
where it wasn't just one guy getting worked, some poor DB with 4 pass interferences. It was everybody
Yeah.
had some kind of a dumb, even Bobby Wagner, roughing the passer and
On a
so
very
anyway.
bad play because that was an interception.
Took it away from Quan. And that's another thing that's disappointing. Oh, that was my other one that I forgot. And this is a disappointment, and it's something that's got to be fixed. I don't think we have a turnover.
No.
We don't have a fumble. We got some sacks, but we don't have an interception or a fumble recovery.
Yep.
And that's bad. I mean, in 2 games not to have one. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's got to be worked on. So anyway, yeah, it's early. These guys gonna have to show some character. Well, I'm done beating up on them, man.
Yeah, me too. Let's hope they come back next week against Las Vegas, and that's at home. Gives us a little bit of advantage, and we're going to do our show this coming Friday.
Yeah, Friday we'll drop the Raiders preview.
Yep. Thanks everybody. If you stayed this late, like and subscribe, and
Yep. Hit
See you
that
next
notification, man,
Yeah.
and you'll know. All right. Thanks, Scrub.
Thanks, BH.